Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning and welcome to a Memorial Day edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Today we remember and honor those who served our country. If any of our listeners out there, we thank you for doing that. We just have JC today because all our other guests are celebrating and taking the day off. So JC was kind enough to join us on the Titan MR hotline. Good morning, JC. How you doing?
Yeah. Good morning. It's a beautiful Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. It's one of my favorite holidays.
It makes no why it's only one day, it makes no sense. You see what I'm saying?
Sure, but
it should be like either a month or at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I treat it kind of like a weekend, the whole 3-day deal. It's like Labor Day in a way. It's on a Monday, and I love it, and certainly hoping everybody has a great time. The weather looks great here in North Central Florida, so it should be a wonderful day, and it's a good start to the short week.
Yeah, well, we have a lot to talk about today. I don't even know where to start. First, I'm going to start with the Indianapolis 500, JC. Okay. I'm sure you tuned in yesterday. I somehow I was doing a bunch of stuff, came home, flipped on the TV, and the Indianapolis 500 had 6 laps left. Okay, but they had a red flag, which means all the cars were parked in pit road till they cleaned it up, I guess. It's kind of like a caution. I don't really know. So they start. So 6 laps to win the Indianapolis 500. They go around one time, another wreck. Okay. But then they go to the pit row again for 2 laps. So they sit there for 15 or 20 minutes while they clean up this other wreck. And then a dude who was in second, he weaved his way and bam, he wins. A dude from Nashville, Tennessee, by the way. Oh. So if any of our listeners understand, I know we've talked NASCAR. We've never really talked Indy 500 here. No. That just makes no sense to me. They were talking about when that last crash ended, whoever was in the lead was going to just win the race behind the pace car doing, laps at about 40 miles an hour. So it's the damnedest sport ever.
I don't like that. Yeah. Yeah,
but what's crazy is, have you ever been to the Indianapolis 500?
No, I have not. I haven't even been to the Daytona 500.
Do you know? Oh, you haven't. So do you know how big the Motor Speedway in Indianapolis is?
I'd say it's probably 2 miles around.
No, I'm talking about like the land. Like,
oh no.
So there's over 300,000 seats. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
This is what you can put in. You can fit within the racetrack. Listen to this: Churchill Downs.
Oh.
Yankee Stadium.
Oh yeah.
The Rose Bowl. No, this is everything combined.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
The White House, Liberty Island, the Roman Coliseum, and the Vatican City. All that within the infield. So anyway, it's the world's biggest single-day sporting event. And I know nothing about it.
I don't either. I mean, back when I watched it, QB, and I used to, it was AJ Foyt, Johnny Rutherford.
Yeah, he owns a team. He's at 88 years old, sitting up there with the headsets on. His guy came in second, I think, or third.
Bobby Unser, Al Unser, Gordon Johncock. It was great. Those were the days when I watched it. Now they've got so many foreign drivers, I can't keep up with them all. It's like watching soccer.
Well, a redneck from Nashville, Tennessee won.
That's cool. Well, I'm happy to see that.
That's our 3-minute span on the Indy 500. Okay, so we got basketball to talk. We got golf. We got first of all, let's talk PGA golf. I don't know if you saw the ending. It went into a playoff. Emiliano Grillo won in the playoff, but he's now one of my favorite golfers. You know why?
Tell me why.
Okay, so if you're on Twitter, so he double bogeyed the last hole. Okay. He knew he was probably going to be in a playoff because he had two more groups coming in. So he goes to the driving range. There ain't a soul there but a dad and two kids at about 7 years old.
Oh,
Grillo turns around while he's getting ready, knowing he's going to a playoff, asks these two kids, y'all want to come hit some balls? So dad picks them up over the fence. The kids go out there, choke down, and hit some balls with him on the practice range when this dude goes back out and wins the Colonial. So it's pretty cool.
Second PGA Tour win for him. Locks up his tour card for the next couple of years. Gets him into the Masters. I think it's the PGA and the U.S. Open, something like that. And he'll probably be allowed to go play overseas as well. It's good to see a guy like that win because they don't win that often, and when they do, that's a big deal. Colonial, thing I heard also about Colonial is a great course in Fort Worth, but
they're blowing it up
completely up, and they're gonna rebuild the place for next year. And it's awesome. I mean, it's a great one to win. I've
played there twice, and it's a good golf course. It's kind of
tight.
It's very tight.
Yeah,
kind of sad they're gonna blow it up. I mean, they're actually like right now they got backhoes digging the damn place up.
Yeah,
they started last night.
So. Well, and I mean, bigger and better things ahead. But they're getting ready for Memorial next week. That's kind of like one of those unofficial special events. It's Jack's course up in Muirfield Village in Ohio, and then the U.S. Open on Father's Day weekend is coming, and they're playing that out in Los Angeles. So you know what that means for all us golf enthusiasts.
Night golf.
Yes. So you go
I
out.
Love it.
Yes, night golf is wonderful. So you go out, spend your day, do your thing, go play if you want, come home, get something to eat, get ready to watch 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great way to spend the day.
Well, and speaking of golf, Harold Varner won $4 million. He won the LIV event this week. How about that? $4 million. So
first time he's won something. Good.
Yes. Okay. Gator Golf. A lot of people don't like us talking golf, but they are sitting at third place out in Arizona. Today is the final day before the top 8 move on and play match play for the national championship.
Right.
Fred Biondi sits at third. He has a chance to win the individual title. So they have been golfing their ball, bro.
It's incredible.
I mean, they have been playing their tails off.
I love how they're playing, -1 through 54 holes, third place, tee off today at 3:00 Eastern or close to it. And you've got not just Biondi, but Du Bois. He also, I think, he shot 70, 70, 69. Biondi's got 3 rounds in the 60s, 69, 68, 69. He's leading the team, and they're leading the team. And when you think about who they're ahead of and who they're behind, they're right in the thick of this thing. And it's if you look at the leaderboard, you can do that just by going to their Twitter page. You've got a school here that is 5 strokes out of first. But when you look back at the other SEC teams like Vanderbilt, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, they're nowhere near Florida. And that's who I compare them to when they compete. Vanderbilt's
the number 1 team in America.
Number 1 team in America, and Vanderbilt's at 853. They're 14 strokes behind Florida, and they are stuck. They went down 2
But
spots.
all you have to do is get in the top 8, and then everything starts over.
It's 100%. But Pepperdine made a move yesterday, moving up 3 spots.
Pepperdine shot 11 under as a team yesterday, which is crazy.
They were hot yesterday, and I just think it's so great that they're in position because we don't talk much about Florida golf, but when we do, and we love J.C. Deacon and his group, that it's fun to see him. Won the SEC tournament up in I guess it was Georgia or somewhere, and then here they are, Seattle, excuse me, Georgia, and then here they are. They had to come something like 5 strokes behind to qualify for this in the regional. They were 5 strokes out of it, and they did it on the last day. These guys are pretty clutch, and I like their chances. I really like their chances. You just never know. Biondi is really consistent. He's so consistent.
Yeah, and Fred's one of my son's good friends, and I told him that's a good friend to have because Fred and him are about the same size.
Yeah.
And when Fred gets tired of clubs, Fred has to give them to somebody. So give them to my kid, so I don't have to buy them.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yes.
Wow. Working
Good
that
to know
angle
people.
already. Already working that
Yeah.
angle. By the way, QB, if I may, I have a small bone to pick with you. The other day, when you're talking about my golf progress here in my mid to late 50s, talking about how I don't like to travel, I'll have you know, I won a tournament in Mississippi. Okay.
You won? Hang on.
About 500 miles away. You know about it. You're on the cup. I won a tournament at Doral, Trump Doral. That's about 400 miles away, 300 miles away in Miami. I've done fairly well in some of these member guests that I've been invited to that are hundreds of miles away. I'm not really sure where you get this fake news about my game doesn't travel. And you can tell Brandon and the rest of these guys listening, yeah, they're anytime they want.
Oh, okay. It sounds like a challenge to me.
Well, but the thing about the JC game doesn't travel. I've got hardware. I'm gonna bring hardware on the show Wednesday, and you'll get to see it.
We would love to see that. We would love to see it.
Okay, let's just get that straightened out right now. That was fake news you were sharing last week.
Well, I don't know if it was real fake.
I just gave you some examples.
Rick says maybe Fred can give them to Shane so he can retire as wood chef. They're not wood chef. Me, Rick. Much work done on the clubs. Some sticks. He gives them to my son. They're about the same height. Joseph is laughing at you on Facebook Live, JC. JC, I'm glad to see that you're helping out the when you roll through the Florida state line. Yeah. Welcome to Florida, and JC goes in there and buys a T-shirt, a sweatshirt.
First of all, this was on the discount rack outside of Alvin Islands, half a mile away.
I mean, nobody that lives in the state of Florida buys souvenirs like you do.
Well, dude, this is
look
cool.
At that sweatshirt.
Look at the anchor. And listen, here's the thing. It was freaking 60 degrees here on Friday. It was freezing with the wind blowing 20 miles an hour out here. I needed some help, and so I got myself and my oldest son the same shirt for $9.99 at Alvin's Island on discount rack. You'd be proud of me, QB. It's the kind of thing you would do.
Joseph said, JC, we will whip you on the golf course, and we will take you snapper fishing the next day to make you feel better.
Ooh, snapper fishing.
I think we should have a loser leave town match between you and Joseph.
Well, Big Joe, just be careful where you tread, Joe.
On our Peachland Dental golf picks, my guy finished the highest. I had Justin Rose. He was like tied for 10th or 11th. So the other golfers all stunk it up. Yeah. But that's our Peachland Dental weekend picks. All right, let's talk Gator Baseball. Gator Baseball is one of the national hosts. There's 16 teams that are hosting, obviously. Yeah. Yes. But I wanted to read this, if I can find it. Of the 16 NCAA baseball regional hosts, how many of them you think are SEC teams, JC, out of the 16?
4.
8, half the field is being hosted by the Southeastern Conference.
No, that's not. You're right. I misspoke. 4 are in the top 8 seeds, and I said I think the other day with Seth Hart that 8 of the top 16 would be hosting regionals. So 4 out of the top 8 would be in the top 8, and then 8 of the top 16 would be hosted. So yeah, I mean it's impressive, and it's good to see that schools like Kentucky and Alabama, and they get to host. We expect Arkansas, Florida, and Vandy to host, but you got some new hosts. Auburn's going to host. So the projection, according to one of the Twitter sites that I follow that covers baseball, 11.7. They've got 50,000 followers on their Twitter site. So I do consider this somewhat credible. Has Florida with Oregon, Troy, and FAMU rolling into Gainesville next week or this weekend. So as the number 2 overall seed, which I think is wonderful, the Gators will have the Ducks coming across the country along with those other 2 schools, so who will be driving in buses. So something that Florida can certainly get through if this is what happens exactly. We don't know if these teams are coming until today, but I think it's a pretty good guess. So we'll go with that.
Yeah, John says, what seed does Florida get? He says he feels like they'll be number 2. Yeah, I think they'll be the 2 seed. So if people missed it, The 16 regional host SEC teams are Florida, Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, LSU, Kentucky, Carolina, and the Vandy boys who won the SEC tournament. JC, did you see the Vanderbilt Florida baseball game, the first inning at all?
No, because I think I was golfing. I just know that. Listen,
it was a mess. So
it was a mess. But yeah,
I think it was the first batter to second batter. It's a line drive right at Josh Rivera, the shortstop.
Yeah,
He goes right off the tip of his glove.
Yeah.
Then we walk a guy, first and second. Caglione has a comebacker to him. Pitcher's mound, going to third to get the lead runner in the force. He airmails this ball.
Out.
It was look, he's a hell of a player, but I don't know if I've ever seen anybody as talented as he is throw a ball that bad. And then it was just the freaking floodgates open. I mean, it was 25 feet over the third baseman's head.
It slips.
It looked like a guy who had never picked up a ball and thrown in his life.
Shot put at it. I mean, he aimed it. Hey, listen, it's fine. I think just again, top 4 of the top 8 seeds was the goal. Here they are. They're going to be the 2. And there was no doubt that the winner of the SEC tournament was going to be the 1. So let's have Vandy do it. Fine. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't. And Florida's going to be just fine, set up really well for the postseason.
Vandy's not going to be the number 1 overall seed. Wake Forest.
I meant Wake Forest. Black and gold team. Yeah, you're right.
All right. So listen to this. There's so many people that have been bitching, that bitch about Kevin O'Sullivan, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know why.
Here's what's crazy. He's coached 15 years at Florida, where they played in the NCAA tournament. Florida's hosted a regional in 13 of those 15 years. That's pretty good.
That's incredible. And, he's got the school's only national title. If he wins this one this year, and he has 2, where do you put him in the annals of Florida Gator coaches amongst all the great ones that they've had here, both in spring and in football? Would he be in the top 10?
Still Mike Holloway's at the top. I mean, nobody's ever going to catch Mike Holloway.
True, and Tim Walton has to be in there just based off winning percentage alone. Of course, Coach Spurrier and Urban Meyer, but
Billy
D, Andy Lopez, I'd like to throw him probably in there, even though he didn't win it at Florida. He won it at Pepperdine. He was a great coach. Maybe not Andy Lopez ahead of Kevin, but Kevin has to be in the top 5. He has to, if he can pull this out. And maybe even if he doesn't pull it out, he's in the top 5 because of that record you just said. So I put Kevin O'Sullivan really high, and he was one of Jeremy's best hires for sure. They got him out of Clemson. He was an assistant, and he came and really turned this program into the.
You know who the other assistant was when he was at Clemson?
The other assistant.
That's now Tim Corbin, the head coach at Vanderbilt. I'd say they had a pretty good staff there. Ruse Over State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visitogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Speaking with JC on the Titan and More Highline. Real quick, before we move on from NCAA baseball, we find out today who's coming here, but somebody's going to get screwed. Did you see the Tulane Green Wave?
Oh, no.
At 18-40. Their record is 18-40.
Oh, my God.
They upset East Carolina, who's always a power in college baseball.
Yeah, and they want,
and so they're going to the tournament.
Again, it just speaks to you get hot pitchers, and I don't know if that was why they won their tournament. But
they had to have like 12 pitchers to get hot, JC, because they were the 9 seed in their tournament out of 10 teams.
Well, isn't it all about who really starts to turn it on this time of year? I mean, I remember Coastal Carolina winning the national title. Nobody had talked about them the entire season, and there they go winning it all. And they're hosting, by the way, in Conway, South Carolina. Oregon State, year in and year out, just seems to find a way to get hot at this time of year, even though I don't see them in here. So we'll see. I think it's going to be fun, though, to find out who comes here and, who we're looking at in the brackets as a winner potentially. If the favorites hold seed, who would come to Gainesville should Florida win the regional and host the super regional. So that's what side of the bracket are they on? And Miami will also be hosting down at Coral Gables. I think they're the 8th seed, and And then I don't see Florida. Where's Florida State? Where is Florida State?
Florida State only won like 12 games all year, JC.
Yeah, they're terrible. So they're not even.
No, they're not even. Dude, they had like a.
I didn't know they were that
Tulane.
bad.
They
Didn't know they were
horrible.
that bad. I'm sorry, I did not know they were that bad. Didn't follow them, but I did not know they were that bad.
I don't know if they won
South
20
Carolina-
games this year.
Oh my God. Well, South Carolina is also in there. Did we mention South Carolina's an SEC school hosting
We
a
did.
regional?
I gave everybody the people that were hosting.
Okay.
Dan says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melvin Law. Shane, did you see Clemson blow that lead to Oklahoma in softball? I saw the final score, but I didn't realize Clemson was winning. I saw it was a high-scoring game. I'm telling you right now, I was flipping through the channels. I guess it was game one. They had 3 girls come up to the plate.
Yeah.
The first 3 girls that I turned the TV on, one of them hit it about a foot from the fence. The next 2 just, blast. Bombs. Nobody's beating them. Nobody's beating them.
I don't see it happening either. Even if they fall behind in a game, I can't see them losing. Like we've been saying for a month now, everybody's playing for second in softball.
Yeah. John says the big question about OKC this week is who plays Oklahoma in the championship game. I don't know who's on the opposite side. And I know.
Yeah.
I think, they may have changed the rules on that. Like if you lose, you flip over to the other bracket. I'm not sure.
It's hard to keep up with. It's just.
I actually think either Florida State or Tennessee are the only teams that can even give them a game.
Tennessee is very good. I agree with that. Yeah.
All right, so let's do this, JC. We're going to take a quick timeout because we got a short version of today's Memorial Day program. I want to come back and we're going to talk a little pro sports right after this break. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Regal Cinemas, The Keys, Dave & Buster's, Palmetto Moon, Starbucks, Visors, and the HBC's restaurant. Spurs Gridiron Grill will see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. Back to the Titan Ohio line with JC. So, JC, you want to explain what you were thinking about Florida State? You were confused between softball and baseball?
Perhaps I was making a joke. Where's Florida State?
Perhaps.
Perhaps, maybe I just didn't enunciate it well enough. By the way, I shot 81 at Marsh Creek yesterday with punch screens just for all our golfers.
Did you put them all out?
I put everything out. And
That's a lie.
What? Well, if it's inside the leather, I scoop it. But listen, went 3 over on the last 2 holes. Should have shot 78. Just so you know, these greens were punched 5 days ago. That's my update on golf. All right. So in basketball tonight, or no, is it tonight? Is yes. Tonight? Right? Tonight we've got a Boston-Miami 7th game where literally the Celtics were 1/10 of 1 second away from losing and having their season ended in a game that Jimmy Butler didn't really play all that well, but played well enough to pull his team back to the brink of eliminating the Celtics. It didn't happen, and now we have Game 7, and Boston never loses Game 7 because Magic Johnson and the Lakers are not showing up tonight. So there you go, just so you know that. And then in hockey, which has had a bunch of teams come back for 3-0 deficits to actually win the Stanley Cup, the LA Kings in 2012 are an example, or 2013. This has never happened in basketball. But in hockey, the Dallas Stars, who were down 3-0 to Vegas, have Game 6 in Dallas tonight as well, to force a Game 7 back in Vegas. So it's pretty fun to see these teams battle back. But I don't know who the pressure's on. Would you say the pressure's on Boston or Miami tonight, QB?
The Heat, man. First of all, the Celtics are clearly the better, more talented team. The Heat have just played really good basketball. Jimmy Butler got hot.
Celtics did all they could. Celtics did all they could to just lose that season, or lose that game the other night.
Andy says, odd that the refs added 9 seconds to the clock at the end of the Heat Celtics game. Should have only been 7. I don't know. I went to bed. When I went to bed, the Celtics were just hammering them.
They were up 10 in the fourth quarter, 98-88. Next thing you know, it's 103-102. So they outscored them 15-4 in 3-4 minutes of that game. Jimmy Butler just decided to take over and do his thing, and the Celtics just threw the ball around, got lazy, got careless, and they do that, the Celtics. If they do that, they'll lose Game 7. But if they do win Game 7 and they do that against Denver, they won't make it. They won't make it.
Well, the Nuggets are close. The Heat, if the Heat win tonight, they'll probably get swept by the Nuggets. They don't have the athletes.
No.
They don't have the team to match up with the Nuggets. At least the Celtics do. JC, since you're a huge Celtics fan, I know you gave up on your team, but I want to know where you were, what your reaction was when Derek White laid that ball back in to win the game.
I was sitting in that blue recliner about 20 feet to my left here in front of that 75-inch TV screen on the wall, and I was falling asleep. And
do you know where Derek White played college basketball, JC?
I couldn't tell you one thing.
Well, how can you be a fan of the Celtics? They be your favorite team and not know where he played ball.
I mean, I do. I get it, but
Would you like to know?
Sure.
He's a Colorado Buffalo.
Okay. Well, listen, I got a Colorado.
Do you know where Jason Tatum played?
I did at one point.
He's a Duke Blue Devil.
Is he really?
Okay. Huh. Yes. He was a one and done.
I'll be damned.
Do you know
what about Jaylen Brown? Where did he play?
He's a Cal Bear.
He's a Cal Bear.
so I don't even care 2 cents about the Celtics, but I know where their guys played. So come on, Jason, you got to be a better fan.
Okay. Well, I do.
I'm going to ask you this question: do you know where is he interim or is he still the head coach? Joe Mazzulla played his college basketball.
Houston.
He played for Bob Huggins. He's a Mountaineer.
Well, Huggy Bear almost got fired in the offseason this year for some ridiculous comments he made, but they let him stay. So anyhow, I listen. I'm a Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Cornbread Max.
Well, they're not playing anymore. They're not playing anymore.
But that's who I followed when I was watching this sport more closely. I don't watch the NBA anymore as much as I watch hockey more than I watch the NBA. I think not most, but many people do. And hockey to me, going on ESPN, going on TNT, these are big moves for that league. And Gary Bettman, the commissioner, has done a good job.
We got I wasn't even listening to you because I was reading this text on the Tightly More text line from Chris in Cottondale. He says, ask JC if he knows where Larry Bird played college ball.
I actually do know that.
Who? Where?
Indiana State,
What's their nickname, JC?
the Sycamores.
Oh,
And they
excellent.
are in Terre Haute, which, by the way, has a great golf casino resort that is fun to go to. You should look at that if you're looking for a golf trip. Pull up Terre Haute, French Lick, Indiana, baby. That's
right,
where Larry Bird's from.
So speaking of Larry Bird, let's get to this day in sports, which is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. In 1980, do you know who won the NBA Rookie of the Year in 1980, JC?
Sorry, for some reason that was 44 years ago.
Well, it was called a segue into what we were just talking
Let's
about
hear it.
from Chris and Cottondale.
Rookie of the Year, Larry Bird.
And he asked where this guy played college ball.
Larry Bird.
Some dude named Larry Bird beat out Magic Johnson for the NBA Rookie
Larry
of the
Bird.
Year.
Yeah. Well, that they had a great finals game in Salt Lake City, Michigan State against Indiana State. Everybody forgets about Greg Kelsey. He played great for Michigan State as well. But they won that game against Indiana State. And then, of course, we saw the great games the Lakers and Celtics played between those two guys during the 80s. The 80s were a great decade, man. If you weren't alive in the 80s, you missed a lot of cool things. You really did. But it was a great decade. So, yeah, I mean, the NBA to me has kind of lost some of its luster. But I do like to watch during the playoffs. And if the Celtics are playing, I'll pay attention. As long as I don't fall asleep in that blue recliner, I'll pay attention.
All right. Well, we have a shortened version of the program today, so people can go enjoy Memorial Day and honor those who
What are you
serve
going
our
to do
country.
today for Memorial Day? You got some hot dogs and burgers you're going to cook?
I'm not a hot dog guy. I'm always a burger guy.
Yeah, definitely.
You like hot dogs, don't you? You like hot dogs?
Yeah, not really. No, I'm kind of like you on that one. But
is today that's July 4th when that idiot eats like 85 hot dogs in a minute. Or
Nathan's hot dog contest.
Yeah, that's July 4th. They do that, right?
Yeah, I think that's correct. But this is a great holiday. The beach is going to be packed. The weather's going to be hot. There's not a cloud in the sky. Wherever you are today, on a lake, on a river, in a backyard, just remember those who have fallen so that you can do this for you and enjoy. And that's a great.
Right. Real quick, Dan says on Facebook Live, he goes, "Who from Florida goes to Indiana to play golf?" That's a good point, though.
French Lick's a great place, man. Try it out. You should try anything out. Look, at some point, you get tired of these Bermuda greens, this very hot, steamy weather, and you want to go see something else. Maybe you do. Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm with him. I don't think of Indiana as a spot to go.
That's why I'm bringing it up. I mean, if you don't want to sweat your brains out, listen. I mean, it's just another place to think about. But it's got a cool resort there, a cool casino. It's a great course, great elevation. It's fun, and it's not something that would be overrun with a lot of crowd. You know, some folks are saying, let's go to Banyan Dunes. You know what a pain in the ass it is to get to Banyan Dunes in Oregon? How about flying 6 hours and then driving another 3? I don't. That's just not the way I'm going to.
You might as well fly across the pond.
Hell no. Yeah,
go over to Ireland. Over there.
Go play in Ireland. Yeah, go play in Ireland. Hell, even somewhere in the Caribbean. Before I'd go to Banyan Dunes because I live in Florida, so that I would agree with. But I hear it's a great trip. But no thanks. It takes too long to get there. Now Hawaii is the place I would go to. Hawaii if I had to go west to play golf, I'd go to. Maunalani or those places in Hawaii on the Big Island or out in Maui, Kapalua. I would do that just because it's Hawaii. But my God, Oregon, Banyan Dunes, I'm just not doing that. That's too far. And the new hot destination now is in Missouri. It's called Top of the Rock. And everybody's talking about that place.
Oh, that place is unbelievable.
Paynes Valley has some of the most incredible views and cart paths you have to drive to get from hole to hole that you'll ever see in your life. It reminds me of Wolf Creek in Nevada, Mesquite. And Tiger Woods designed a place with some collaboration from others that is the most unique place you'll ever see. They have a par 3 golf course that people say is more fun than playing anything. So it's a great destination for guys to it's expensive, but it's worth it. That would be a good place to go as well. We could have a little segment on cool places to travel to play golf with your friends. one day during the summer to take up some time if you want. I've got some great addresses for you.
Yep, for sure. All right, JC, enjoy your day on the beach in your Speedo.
Okay.
Be careful. Watch the sharks. Shark attack. Stay out of the water.
Riptides are gone. You guys have a great Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you Wednesday.
That's JC. Join us on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. Enjoy your day, folks, and we will see you live tomorrow morning. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Take care.